Joined now by Coach Bryan Harsin. Coach Harsin, when we saw David Ash walk out of the game holding his left wrist on Saturday, it was a scary moment. And then the next thing we hear, Sunday, he's taking snaps at practice. What does that say about the kind of guy he is?
Yeah, one of the things we talk about quite a bit in our room is toughness, and whatever that is. A lot of it's mental. It's obviously going to be physical at times, and that was a time that was a physical toughness moment for him. David's very competitive. And obviously the first concern is he injured? You know, that's what we want to find out. And we found out that he's feeling okay, and Sunday, in his mind, it was no big deal. I'm ready to go. I'm going to get back in there, and this is what I need to do. And so you really appreciate about that about him as a player, just to get back in the mix and get ready to go.
And now he says he'll play against Baylor. How has he looked this week? He's
had a great practice, a great week of practice. And you know, the one thing, you know, to everybody's credit, all those guys have come back. You know, after you talk about the game on Sunday, you get your mind right, you got to flip the switch in a hurry and get ready to play another team. That's how this thing works. And David's no exception. He came right back in on Sunday, prepared himself for that practice we had, and then has been preparing himself all week long for Baylor. So he's had a great week of practice. We're excited about it. Like what he's done this week, and looking forward to the game.
So when we saw David leave the game, Case McCoy comes in and is able to have some late-game success. What did that say about him?
I think the hardest thing to be is a backup quarterback. And you prepare like a starter, you do everything, and then most games you don't get a chance to play. And so the thing about Case is every time, he's on the headset with me during the games, and so as we talk, he's in tune with everything that's happening. He can see it, he knows, and the best part about that is when he gets his opportunity, he's already played the game in his mind. He hasn't done it physically, but he's been playing it mentally. And this game was no exception. He got a chance to come in. He had saw some things that we had maybe missed in the previous plays that we could take advantage of. We had talked about on the phone, and he went in there and took advantage of it. And so what that showed me is he hadn't given up on the belief in preparation and doing those type of things. Because when he came in, everything that he did was exactly what we wanted him to do. And that's what you want your quarterbacks to be able to play like he did. And so I was very excited about that. And you know, I think he was too. I think it showed that all that prep time is worth it when you get those moments.
What's the team's mentality been like this week?
It's been good. You know, it's obviously, you know, that 24-hour rule, they buy into that. They really do. And we have to. There's really no time to sit back and spend too much time on the previous game, win or loss. You know, that's just our mindset, because the next opponent, they're going to be preparing for you. You've got to have your best game. And so Sunday, we put that game to bed. We come back in on Monday, we start to prepare, get ourselves ready to go for Baylor. And then those guys know that this Baylor team is very good. Played them last year. They're coming into our house. We've got to have our best game, our best preparation week that we've had, and it's all about getting better for our side of the ball. And those guys, I've been very happy with just how they've answered this week in practice.
DJ Johnson, there's a guy that we've seen get better every week. What can you say about how you've seen him grow?
Yeah, DJ's a guy, you know, he's obviously a very talented football player, a young player for us, and we've got him in a lot of different roles. He and DJ Monroe are two type of guys that are very similar as far as the speed and what they can do with the ball in their hands. And he continues week to week to get more opportunities because he understands more of what we're doing. And he's a guy like DJ that we want to have, you know, in those type of situations. And so both those guys, DJ's had some opportunities. He's played some wide receiver. He started that. He's moved into some running back position, so he's moving around a little bit. But both those guys, we're still excited about what they're doing, how they're coming along. DJ's a guy that you know, has been explosive for us down in the red zone, and we want to find ways to get the ball in his hands in the open field, not just the red zone area, because of what he's done for us. And he's been fantastic with the things that we've asked him to do, his leadership with the younger players. And so, you know, both those guys are guys that when they do touch the ball, they make things happen. And so we want to continue to find ways to get them the ball.
Your O-line lost Donald Hawkins in the first half of last Saturday's game when he went out with an ankle injury. How are those guys looking this week? Are they ready to step up?
Yeah, they're doing good. You know, Luke Pellman is a guy that's played various roles for us. He's kind of the sixth man on the O-line. He comes in and plays some tight end positions in certain formations. And so he stepped in and did a nice job and has continued to do that this week. You know, so that group, you have that 5, 6, 7 guys in the O-line. That's usually somebody's going to play quite a bit, you know, if you're that 6th or 7th guy. That's just how the O-line position is. And so Luke is a guy that's really stepped up. Josh Cochran's having to move around a little bit and mix it up. You know, those guys understand that. They're prepared for it. And I've been real happy with their progress this week.
We've heard all the hype about Baylor's offense, but what do you think that the Baylor defense does well?
Well, playing them, you know, watching them this year and playing them last year, they play hard. They do. And one of the things that we fully expect is to get their very best. I think their D-line up front, they've got quickness. They move them around and do a lot of different things with those guys because they're talented and athletic. Their secondary, you know, both corners are very solid in the way they play. And they do enough in the back end to give you some problems, you know, as far as just trying to confuse the quarterback and give you different looks. But they're a very hard playing football team. And so, you know, what we have to do is make sure that we come out with great energy, play for 4 quarters, all those things that, you know, coach speak and things like that, but it's really what it is, because that's what you're going to see from Baylor. And we know they're going to be prepared. We know they're going to be out there ready to play hard, and we've got to be able to match that.
Thank you so much for coming by today, Coach. We really appreciate it.
Thank you.